Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and for the past few months I've been seeing a lot of ads for a particular game that is on Kickstarter right now. It's definitely something I wasn't sure about at first, but the more I saw, the more things that came up, and now the videos and everything got me really interested in it. And even though I had one perspective on it in the beginning, it definitely changed my mind as I started digging deeper into it. So, jump into your ships, let's get up into high altitude and land on those floating pieces of rock as I tell you why I backed Fractured Skies from Ivy Studios. So if you're familiar at all with my channel or anything like that, you'll know that I'm a huge Skies of Arcadia fan, and that is a video game where you are an air pirate taking your ship and flying from basically island to island in this giant world, and each island has a story and each island has a culture, and there's just so much lore and everything behind every bit of that world that when I saw Fractured Sky, I was like, is this Skies of Arcadia the game? It's not. That's okay though. That's more than okay. I could definitely see a reskin of it though. But it's something that initially caught my interest and being like, hey, so what is this game? What is it all about? What about it would actually cause me to add it to my collection? And the more I dove into it, the more I actually saw what the game had to offer, the more I was like, okay, yeah, I could see where the money goes on this. As always, keep in mind, this is just my opinion of the game. This is what caused me to actually hit the button and pledge this game in order to be able to support Ivy Studios, all the other things that they've done, support the designer and things along that ways, and to really dive into the world that they created for Fractured Skies. Why don't we head on over to the Kickstarter page and I can show you exactly what I mean. Before I even start anything about this, one, I'm not going to show the movie just because I decided I'm just going to stop doing these. You know, it's just better off for you to go watch it anyway for yourself. And two, look at that. Look at that image. That is so cool. Mike, you stare at it long enough and you find new things about the image that you didn't see the first time. Like, I had no idea there was a giant octopus just right there in like the middle-ish area of all of these things. Like, I saw something that was kind of wings and all these other things, and you stare at it a little longer and it's like, oh my god, there's that. Oh, that's on top of the tentacle. What's over there? Like, the art in this game is so whimsical and so amazing and so majestic that I love it so much. And it was kind of another thing that really drew me to the game. Anywho, moving our way through the campaign, you can just see it. Look at its presence on the table right there. Like, you have all of the pieces here. This is the Deluxe Edition. I'm going to tell you right now, what you're seeing here on the table is the Deluxe Edition, and I will explain the differences between the regular edition and Deluxe Edition when I get down to that, but just keep in mind, that's what you're seeing here as opposed to what the retail version is going to be. But, as always, playtime 40 to 90 minutes. That's a great length for a game. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Ages 14 plus, something they need to put on everything probably because of the pieces, but a big check mark in terms of what I love about games is it has a single player mode. Fantastic. Games that offer single player modes are perfect for me right now because it's going to be quite a while before my kids actually grow up in order to play these games with me. Fractured Skies as a game itself is so cool, just the way that it's like this hidden it's not a hidden movement game. It's an area control game at its heart. You're sending your ships and your troops to various islands that have come up from the ground in order to get Starfalls. And these Starfalls are very valuable pieces from the sky, from space, whatever, that landed on these islands. And you're blindly bidding, as it says right there, how many troops are in an area. So you don't know how many your opponent had put down, but you are also kind of bluffing them out of how many they think you put down as well. So generally what it is you have a card that tells you where one Starfall is, and then 1 to 5 hidden cards, depending on the round, where other Starfalls are. And on your turn, you can use your strategy to pay resources that you collect in order to look at cards to figure out where Starfalls are, to look at other cards to figure out what end of round objectives are in order to be able to get more points, and then ultimately to send your troops out into the world in order to collect all of the valuables and then get as many Starfall pieces as you can and win the game after 5 rounds. Resources are limited and you have to manage your supply very carefully from round to round, but there's only 3 different types of resources, so it's so simple in order to get into. You have wood, you have steel, you have money, coin, whatever, and you spend those to, like I said, look at cards or to build various constructions. You have markets, which gives you more resources depending on where you are on the board, and then you have other constructs that give your troops more power depending on where they are on the map. You can also build smaller ships that you can send out as well in order to grant additional power. So The resources don't come in huge supply. You have to really pick and choose how you want to use them, but it's a really cool way in order to kind of add a strategy element and a puzzle element to the game as you try to figure out where the Starfalls are and exactly how you are going to get them before your opponent does. And this right here, this magnetic tabletop game, this is a really cool mechanic. I'll talk about that magnet thing in a little bit, but I really like this what does it feel like. Ivy Studios is really giving you a sense of what the game plays like, what you can expect, what it is that you can, come to see and come to do whenever you play this game. It talks about the puzzles, it talks about all the balances in it, it's minimal rules. There's not much to learn with this game, which is great. I've watched several playthroughs of the game and nothing about it confused me as I watched them play. And also you have a choice on how you want to spend your money with this, whether you want to go the full-on deluxe version of the game or you want to go a little bit simpler for the retail version. So as I mentioned before, Starfalls are basically your victory points for the game. You have to find them on the game in order to collect them, and then whoever has the most after 5 rounds wins. What I love about this particular campaign is hidden within it are locations to Starfalls that you out there have to figure out. Well, I guess me too, but I'm gonna let you guys do that. So this is actually very out of date right now. By the time this goes live, there's probably still about 13 days left to go in the campaign. So still about 2 weeks or so in order to find everything. But I guarantee that by the time this particular thing goes live, we'll have a lot more Starfalls. And basically, as people find them and as certain milestones are hit, more Starfalls are added to the pile, and they will unlock certain things. So you get alternate art for all of the 5 factions within the game. And then, of course, if we get all 30 Starfalls, the metal Starfall pieces, this is how you use in order to track what you've collected, are going to be 50% off. So it's a pretty cool discount that they give for it in order for everybody to kind of interact more with the Kickstarter itself. And this is pretty much what they have already found. So certain areas have been found as in the comments section. I think it's hashtag Starfall find or something like that. You have to put in the comments section, and then where it is or what the answer is. And then, of course, as things happen. So funded 100,000, funded 500,000. I'll talk about what the numbers are at the end of this. But, certain milestones like this, they will also unlock Starfalls. Followers on Discord, YouTube, TikTok, all kinds of stuff like that. And then there's this. This is what it is. This is the cipher in order to be able to figure out. Throughout the Kickstarter, you're going to find these symbols scattered around, and these are letters. You can figure out which letter goes which symbol, and after you figure out all the different letters, you can actually decipher what the codes are and find the Starfalls. So I basically talked about how to play anyway, what you're going to be doing on each turn. There is a great how to play right here for you to watch that and see, again, all the fine details about what you can and cannot do on your turn. But first you have your player boards right here, player trays, which again, this comes in the Deluxe Edition. Those player trays are not in the Retail Edition. Keep that in mind when looking at this. But you're setting everything up along this way, then you're putting out the board and then figuring out your turn order, which I like the way that they do turn order in this. I don't know how it started, like how you get the initial turn order, but basically your turn ends after you have deployed 3 ships somewhere on the board. And once you have done that, you take your cube from whatever the order is and you put it into an order for the next round. So you see 1 to 5 and then 1 to 5 again. You would take your cube from, say, your part 2 and you would move it onto any one of the available spots. If you go to a spot way in the beginning, you get first choice at a lot of things, which could be very advantageous. But if you go to the end, you're going to get a resource, which I believe is money on the board, and you get to see where everybody else goes, but your options are a little bit more limited. So it's kind of a where do you go, where do you land within the turn order every turn to make it better for you to find all the Starfalls. As mentioned before, you get 1 public Starfall in order to know where they are, and then depending on what round you're on, you're going to get anywhere from 1 to 5 hidden Starfalls. So you'll just get more and more as you go throughout the game. But then on your turn, I'm going to come back to putting out the ships in a minute. But as you can see, you can spend resources to put scouts, take a peek at stuff. You can take a peek at where Starfalls are. You can take a peek at objectives in order to gain more Starfall points. Constructing buildings, choosing your next round order, putting stuff together like that. But then deploying airships. Deploying airships, again, is something that you're going to need to do regardless. And in the Deluxe Edition, there are magnets on the bottom of not only your ships, but also all of the number of values that ships can be, which I think you have 2 zeros and then 1 to 10 or something along that ways. And you literally take your ship, pop it onto the bottom so you can't see it. You know what it is, but your opponents do. And then it flies in there. And then once at the end, when like you're revealing where the starfall is and you do battle, you just pop your ship off and like, that is my number. So right here, see, they revealed the troops and whoever had the highest number wins. Now, the thing of it is when you deploy your ships, all 3 ships, the numbers underneath them cannot collectively equal more than 10. And that's why I said I think there's 2 zeros in there, because you do have a 10 value ship and you must deploy 3 ships. So that means you put down your 10, 2 of them have to be 0. Now, that's before any other modifiers happen on the board. It only has to be the bottom of the chip that has to equal that. The 1 value and the 10 value actually have this white border around them that other players can see. So it's a matter of, is that really a 10 there? Are they trying to just win the space because they know something? Or is this a bluff? Is that a 1? And they're trying to like draw your attention to here so they can go off and do something else. It's really cool the way that they have this in there. And it's very interesting playing off of each other, all of the videos that I've seen about and everything. But I really am curious on how the solo player will work for this. Now, if you do have Tabletop Simulator, you can play it there, but I love that they put this into their Kickstarter. Solo and 2-player mode, an actual kind of outline of how it works. Yes, I said I wonder how it plays. I already read through this and everything, and again, I need my solo modes in a lot of games because generally I'm going to be the only one playing them. And this is actually also a 2-player mode as well, because I feel like you need at least a minimum of 3 players on this because of the bluffing aspect. And it's stuff like that that's prevented me from buying other games in the past. Like, you need 3 players. You need all 3 players here in order to do this, that, and the other thing. There was no way to get around it. And at most, my wife and I would play, and that's only 2 players. Here, they actually incorporated something where I can play 2 players. I can play 1 player on a game that involves bluffing. Thank you, Nick Shaw, David Digby, and David Cherzicki. Oh God, I really apologize about that. But thank you 3 for actually putting your minds together and coming up with this mode here in order to be able to do it. And this is what I'm looking forward to. This is the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, is figuring out how this goes, how this will change round to round, and of course, what to expect from the solo mode for this game. And then of course, once I get to know the game and really, really dive into it, I have other game friends and groups and everything that I'm starting to go to a lot more this year. This is definitely something that will be coming with me to all of those things. Here are more of the letters that I talked about. So you would figure out a way to decipher all of the symbols, figure out what letters what, and then this gives you some crazy message here. So this entire campaign pushes the Deluxe Edition, and I completely understand why, 100%. So that's why we're going to what's in the box right now. So you're going to see what's in the Retail Edition. Now, yes, it's $50. That's a really good price for this, by the way. MSRP apparently is $70, so you'd get like a good $20 off, before shipping and whatnot. And basically what you're getting is just the standard stuff. You're getting a lot of tokens, you're getting a player shield, all of your ships and everything are just cardboard punch outs. It's nice, it's pretty, it's good, but again, this is the Retail Edition. This is very basic, very minimum. The Deluxe Edition, which is what you see everybody play, is what comes with the ship miniatures, which comes with the magnets on the bottom of them, which comes with the custom trays, things along that ways. The Super Deluxe, mind you, the Deluxe Edition is $130. 170 normally. The Super Deluxe is 180, and this is literally just a star shine of a game right here because of the amount of glam and glitz that they put into it. All of the minis are perfectly painted in their own unique ways. The holofoil objective cards, so the objective cards have this shine and shimmer to them. The box itself is all pretty and like bright and shiny. So that is your Super Deluxe compared to your regular Deluxe. Now I'm regular Deluxe, that's more than fine by me. I don't need all those bells and whistles, but for those of you that just like that little bit more and really dive into the, I guess, full look of the game, Super Deluxe right there. So what's in the box? Deluxe Edition, you get a double-sided board right here. One side is 1 to 3 players, the other side is 4 to 5, give you more places to go and everything. Your Stardust pieces. These would be metal if we reach all the Stardust pieces, and you get the 50% off on them. And then every faction in the game has their own player board, their own ships, their own magnets, and all their own little pieces. So there's 5 different factions in the game you play as, all of the cards and all the things put together there. And then the another fun area where you can decipher various letters and whatnot to see what that says. So why back now? Deluxe Edition. Again, this is not the retail edition. I would, if you're really serious about this game and you think that this is something cool that you're going to want to play, definitely go for that Deluxe Edition. No doubt about it. And of course, supporting Ivy Studios is awesome. I'm going to be a big supporter of them from going, forward out from here. Let's see, free cards, Kickstarter exclusive, all kinds of good stuff. Few other details that they have within the Kickstarter. Again, really, really emphasizing the Deluxe Edition and what you get from it. And then, of course, meet the faction. So these are the 5 different groups of explorers, I guess you can say, that you can find in the game. The Sonati, the Ashbane, the Paradin, the Morimeno, I guess, yeah, and the Calvary, sure, why not? And they each have their own backstory and whatnot to them. The only thing that I do wish that they did in this game, and I've been reading comments and other people saying this and everything, and I get why Ivy Studios didn't do it, just to make the game like even more streamlined and simpler or whatnot, but I really wish that they gave each one of the factions a unique ability, or give you something in order to make it that you have a special ability that your other opponents don't, because I love stuff like that. I love asymmetric games because it makes me want to go back and play each character or each faction or each whatever in the game multiple times until I am good at it. Like Spirit Island for me is something I go back to all the time because I want to be good at every single spirit, because every spirit plays the same. This game, there's really not much variance in each game determining on who you're playing as. I could play as any one of these 5 and the game is going to play out exactly the same regardless. However the chips fall and whatnot and things along that ways, it's going to be the same no matter what color my ship is. I just wish I had something more for my characters and everything that somebody else didn't. But you know what? That may come in future expansions or something like that for this game, depending on how well this does, which right now it's doing pretty well. And finally, we have the add-ons. And again, there's a few other things. They talk about exactly what's in each boxes and everything up here, but you can add on a few extra things. Let's see. Particular card pack. Pack of 20 cards. In every pledge, $49 and over. Well, I'm getting that anyway. Awesome. The Metal Starfalls. This will be 50% off if it's unlocked. I'll probably add that. If you're doing the retail edition, definitely get the coin capsules. One thing I learned from Wonderland's War, coin capsules are amazing if you cannot find deluxe versions of things and they have the little circles and whatnot. Neoprene mat. There's a lot of people out there that love neoprene mats. My friend Paul, and I am not a big fan of. I like them, I really do, but I just can't. I can't at times. Fractured Sky sleeves. Sleeve your cards, always good. I can't wait to see what the pictures of the hat and the hoodie are. I'm probably not going to get them, but I'd love to see them anyway, and I'm sure a lot of people will love them. You can get various pins. I'm actually getting this Newman pin here because I backed this game within the first 48 hours, so it was added to my pledge, so that is awesome. They have a puzzle. If you're a Moonrakers fan and you have it, you can definitely pick up the expansion right here that features stuff from Starfall. Awesome that they had that crossover. Fantastic. Holographic card pack, which I think for those that pledged the retail, oh, these won't be in it or whatever. There's something, I forget what it was. There's something in here that depending on if you hit, we hit a certain level or whatever, it would just be added in. I don't even remember what it was. All right, timelines and shipping prices, always fun. So we know that the campaign ends on May 1st, started on the 11th. Again, right now, based on when this is going out. If you're watching on the day this goes live, you'll have about 2 weeks left in order to determine if you want to back it or not. If you're always on the fence, I always recommend doing at least a $1 pledge and then later on upping it or just completely dropping it if you don't like it and changing it around as you wish. But I know what I like as soon as I get in there, so I just want to grab what I can grab. So we have all this, all the timeline and everything. The big thing is January 2024 delivered to backers. That seems realistic at this point. It seems far enough away where something like this could actually go into a good production and get out and everything. If you know anything about Kickstarter games or whatever, always take these with a grain of salt. As far as I'm concerned, if I can get this a year from now, I'd be okay with that. That'd be fine. I'm pretty sure at the very least April of next year at the latest. But heck, if it comes in January, fantastic. You have a retailer section and there we go. Shipping costs. This is pretty much, from what I can tell, everything. No matter what version you buy, this is going to be your shipping costs, and that'll probably change a little bit later. So yeah, looking at these numbers are not as bad as they probably could be. I've seen a lot worse in terms of shipping costs when it comes to other games and everything, and at least a lot of them are not as much as the actual game itself. Now, this world here, which is other countries around the world, 50 plus, yeah, you're going to get some harsh things when it comes, well, I mean, Australia and New Zealand are on here, and they're usually really high, and they're at $23, $27. That's really not that bad in consideration. But then again, keep in mind, I'm from the United States, so yeah, it's going to be a lot less for me or whatever. Good on China and Hong Kong, though, for getting those $10 things. But I don't know, this one in terms of shipping, not so bad. I've seen better, I've seen worse, but, you know, hopefully that'll be that. Well, hopefully it doesn't really influence you too much in terms of whether you're going to back it, but I do completely understand why. Got ourselves another map here that shows a bunch of star constellations with, like, of course, the letters and whatnot in there to tell you where Starfall have fallen, about the team, and then just a few other really cool videos that they're putting up more and more each day to, again, give you more background, give you more information, and really show you what this game is. Like, I remember when this game, and this was only like a week ago, so it doesn't, my memory is always a little wacky. When this game first launched, all of those videos like popped up on my YouTube one after another in the morning. It's like, boom, there's another one, boom, there's another one, boom, there's another one. So I'm watching the playthroughs of this game. I'm watching the how to plays and everything before this went live. So even before this thing hit the, the mainstream on Kickstarter, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I did want this game. And there you go. That's why I backed Fractured Skies from Ivy Studios. Yes, when I first saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was Skies of Arcadia, taking airships from island to island in order to find pieces that have fallen from sky that are valuable artifacts. For those that know the game, they are on the search for moonstones, starfall, moonstones, whatever, taking their ship from island to island, taking their ship from island to island, and just kind of going from there. It's definitely not that, but I'm okay with it being that way too, because the more I find out about the game, the more I love its own story, its own lore, its own reasoning for doing what it is that it does. All of the factions in there, why they're on the search for the Starfalls, how they interact with each other, the different spaces on the map, things along that way. It's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be an awesome game in order to play. Again, I can't wait to try out that solo mode for it to see how it really runs. Got a lot of great minds in on that. And overall, this is a very exciting one for me. Price point, not so bad. It's currently, as of the moment when I'm doing this recording, 18 days ago, 6,005 backers and about $770,000 in profit or, pledge goal or whatever. So you still got quite a while to go. There's still a lot of things to open up and still a whole lot more to see about this game. Thank you guys so much for checking out why I backed Fractured Skies. Is this a game that you've heard about? Is this something that you saw pop up over and over and over again on like your social medias or whatever, and it just piqued your interest enough to be able to go onto the website, go onto the Kickstarter and everything, and really start diving into it? Is this something that you're going to probably bring into your collection one day, whether it be the retail version or backing the Kickstarter now? Just let me know what you think of it overall. Again, you've heard my opinions on this game. Now I want to hear yours, the good, the bad, and everything in between, because we are family. We should really share our opinions with each other, especially if we're going to be sharing our tabletop space with all of these games. As always, you guys have been absolutely amazing. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together, bouncing from island to island, searching out valuable pieces of stone that have come from the heavens and trading them in for victory and glory. Until next time, you have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.